I'm gonna just check my audio, make sure we're good. We're good. So this is the finale of the why did God begin to hate Israel at Gilgal. So I finished the study, um, and here we go. I started this study this month, and like from this study, another study was introduced. It's like study after study, it just something just comes up, and I still got more to do. But so we're gonna just answer this real quick, and I'm gonna just cross-reference. You know, I may go and actually read these things, but I'm gonna definitely just give you the cross-references also. So in my first study of doing this, I didn't start where I needed to start. So I ended up starting at chapter 13 of 1 Samuel, but I really need to go to 1 Samuel 10 and then work my way there. So the second time I came back, which was yesterday, well, earlier today, um, 9:15 in the morning, I went and did the earlier parts of Samuel because I was missing something. So from 1 Samuel, if you want to read the whole context, 1 through 8, and that's cool, but the main verse is 8. 1 Samuel um, 10, verse 8. And I'll just give you a summary of what this verse talks about. And it says, Samuel told Saul to go to Gilgal and wait 7 days until he comes and offers burnt offerings and offer sacrifices of well-being. And then Samuel would show him what to do. So keep in mind that part. Then in 1 Samuel 13, 7 through 14, here's my summary of this. This isn't word for word, but this is my summary on, you know. Here we go. It says 7 days passed and Samuel didn't show up. So the people began to slip away from Saul. So he burnt offerings and offered offerings of well being. And as soon as he finished, Samuel arrived and said, What have you done? He did say, What have you done? But, and Saul told him, you didn't show up. So, I did what I did, basically. And, so anyway, Samuel said, You have done foolishly. And then, let's see, it says, ultimately, Samuel was like, basically, you have not kept the commandment of God. The Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom won't continue. God has sought a man after his own heart and has anointed him ruler over Israel because you have not obeyed God's commands. Like, that's my little summary, basically, right? But that's from 1 Samuel 13, 7 through 14. So if you want to read that, cool. You'll get more of what it's talking about word for word, because mine ain't word for word. That's just a little bit of my summary, right? So from those two, we get to see more of what happened. And I got notes on that. But that was like some of the first things that King Saul messed up on. Like right after he became king, that was the first thing he messed up. And so we don't get to fully know what Samuel was going to show him to do. Because remember in 1 Samuel 10:8, Samuel told him to go ahead of him 7 days and wait until he arrives and offer burnt offerings and and offer sacrifices of well-being. And then Samuel would show him what to do. Because he did what he did, we never got to know. We never got to see or know what he was going to be shown to do. So Saul messed that up. So my little notes on that part, just these two incidents was, basically, I said Saul feared the people would slip away from him and acted foolishly by offering sacrifices of well-being and burnt offerings to get favor from God, fearing the Philistines would come for him. Samuel said God would have established your kingdom over Israel forever, but now it won't continue because you didn't do what God said. And now he's seeking a man after his own heart. And that was the end of my notes with that. So when do I get this part? No, that part. Oh, I guess I can throw this in here too. So the part in 1 Samuel 12 through 25, where it says that Israel sinned in asking God for a king, cross-reference 1 Samuel 8:7, doesn't even apply to why God began to hate Israel at Gilgal, because it never even showed or worded it that God was angry at them for that or punished them for that. It just was a sad situation. And God said that they rejected him, not Samuel, so listen to them and he gave them a king. What's up, Chris? Christian, am I saying that right? Is it Christine? Is that how I say it? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe I'm saying it right. But hey, how are you? Shalom to you. Let me see. So now I can go back to my earlier studies of it. So I do want to note that when I started this study, there was something that I was noticing. So I wrote this note before I started because it was on my mind from all of what I was learning so far. So this study came about from me reading in Hosea 9:15. Certain translations word it a little different, but the NRSV and others say, this is just a phrase of it, this ain't the whole thing, that there at Gilgal, well, it says, every evil of theirs began at Gilgal. There I began to hate them. Or there I came to hate them. Like, that's almost word for word in the NRSV. But different translations are going to say it a little different. But this is why I called it what I called it my first two videos about this, why God began to hate Israel at Gilgal. Because I didn't know why. So I did this study to figure out what happened. So here's my notes before I did the study, because something was on my mind as I was saying. So I wrote this little note. It says, before the study begins, I must note that from the flood and Mount Sinai incidents, there was a pattern. God destroyed sinners and separated from wickedness. Destruction before peace seems to be the pattern. And that's true. I was reading Genesis and Exodus before this, and my studies have led me to this part, Gilgal study. So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying right here. Because I was doing a study before. My main study is what did God say only? And I got to read the entire Bible over again and highlight everything God said only, just God. So while I'm doing that, I'm reading Genesis and I see the flood incident. And then I come on to like Genesis 21 and then I stop. And then I go to Hosea because somebody wants to read Hosea about marriage and his divorce. So I go to Hosea and I read that with him. And I continue to do my what did God say only study in that. And then I noticed that it's a couple of times in Hosea where God is saying things that I don't know why he's saying it. So this was one of the things that I caught that I didn't understand because I didn't know why God began to hate them at Gilgal. I'm like, well, what happened at Gilgal? So it brought me here, but before I came here, it was something else in Hosea that made me do another study. So I did a calf study to track down all the times that Israel was involved in idolatry with the calf. And then it led me to Exodus. And then from Exodus, I saw the pattern. Because when they came down from the mount, well, God told Moses to go down from the mount. The people are they're in idolatry, basically. So he went down and, that's where I saw the pattern. About 3,000 was killed that day because they wasn't on the Lord's side. And then they were plagued after that. And for 40 years, a lot of them, that generation was killed off in the wilderness. But God, the pattern from Exodus and Genesis was like this. when in Genesis 6:6 through 7, where it talks about how, every thought of humans was evil continually, and God regretted making humans because of that, and He wanted to kill everybody basically, man and beast, and all that, right? Start over with the righteous, Noah and just the righteous, and start over. So that's, and then if you look at the Exodus situation when they was worshiping the calf because they didn't know what happened to Moses, God was like, it's a certain verse in there I might have to pull up on here and show you. It's a certain verse in there that I didn't catch until recently. God said to Moses, I will make of you a great nation. Similar to how he told Abraham he would make of him a great nation, which I never caught until recently. And God made it seem as though he was so angry at Israel that he was going to kill all of them and start over with Moses. If you read it, and then it seems to confirm it from the next chapter, chapter 33. Like, I think the first 6 verses confirms it. It seems that God was so upset at Israel, he was going to kill them all. And if you just read Exodus 32 entirely, you'll see it, especially towards the end. Because God was telling Moses, leave me alone. Let my anger wax hot against them and consume them, something like that. He was that mad. And then you can confirm it in the next chapter. Matter of fact, towards the end in Exodus 32, Moses tried to intercede for Israel, make an atonement. He went to God, spoke to God. He tried to, get God to forgive them. And he even went as far as saying this. He said something like this. I might have to pull it up. Moses said, if you won't forgive them, then blot me out of the book which you have written. The book of life, basically. Moses was that. He was trying to negotiate that hard for Israel, right? God said, it's funny because God wouldn't have it. God said, basically, to him that have sinned against me, I will blot out of my book of life. Basically, he was like, forget what you're talking about. You and me good, but whoever sinned against me will be blotted out of my book. So then he gave Moses instructions on what to do, where to go. And then he also said he would punish Israel when he would. And at the end of the chapter in 32, you'll see how it said God sent the plague on Israel. so he was still mad. He was still mad at Israel. And then you have to imply also that it's not like Israel turned from being a stiff-necked people. They were still stiff-necked. They were still not faithful with God. They still wasn't, doing what they were supposed to do. And you can connect all these cross references to see how they were towards God. And this could be a part of the reason he was the way he was with them, because they were stiff-necked people. So he killed off that generation for 40 years. In the wilderness, and started over with their kids and took them into Israel, gave them the land. Not those people. That's still something I need to go back and study, the 40 years in the wilderness too, and connect all that. But like, it's a trip when you see it. So anyway, the pattern that I said here was, it seems to be destruction before peace is the pattern. Destruction before peace seems to be the pattern. You can see it from Genesis 6 through 7. He destroyed basically everybody, a lot of the creatures too. Started over with Moses and the righteous. He separated from wickedness and started over with the righteous. It seems to be the pattern that God is always separating from wickedness and starting over with the righteous, or continuing with the righteous. And if there is no righteous, then he's just going to separate from wickedness entirely. That's the pattern I see. The same thing in Exodus after they came down, when Moses came down from the mountain. They killed off, they said he separated from wickedness. Like, you just got to read it. God was so mad, he said he wouldn't even, I forget. I might have to get this one because it was like he wouldn't even travel with them because I think he said he might consume them if he did. I can't remember. He was so mad. Man, you got to see it. You just got to read that. Oh, man, he was so mad. So anyway, that was something I noted before the study. And then you got And 1 Samuel 13, 24 through 33, Saul made an oath, which was unnecessary, but he did. Saul made an oath that no one should eat before, this is just a summary, that no one should eat before evening and until he was avenged on his enemies. And any who does will be cursed. Jonathan, his son, didn't hear the decree and ate honey. Then all the troops ate with blood. This is not word for word, it's just a summary, right? So Jonathan was cursed, and the people of Israel were so hungry they ate the food with blood, which is not, you're not supposed to do that. So that's another sin. Well, that's a sin. I ain't gonna say another one, but that's a sin. Then you got 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 24. And this is just a short summary. All I wrote was this. God said to Samuel, tell Saul, destroy all King Agag has. Don't spare them. Kill man and woman, child and infant, sheep, ox, camel, and donkey. Because they sinned, so they go and spare the king Agag and the best of the sheep, cattle, fatlings, lambs, and all that was valuable. So they disobeyed God by doing that. And then, so this is the people involved this time. You get to see the people sinning along with the king. Because it's not just the king making mistakes, it's the people too. Then you get to see in verses 19, 22, and 20, well, through 23, it says, this is my summary on it. Obeying God, this is when Samuel is speaking, I believe. Obeying God is greater than sacrifices and burnt offerings. Rebellion is a sin equal to divination, which is something I didn't remember, but I definitely wrote that down. And then it says, and stubbornness is like iniquity and idolatry, which reminds me of Israel, because God often will call them a stiff-necked people. So maybe that's also why God was so pissed off at them, because they were like this. After they was taken out of Egypt, they were so mad. I mean, they were so stiff-necked. What's the force? What do you mean? But what's up, Hope? And so I also wrote this down, that this was a pattern that I noticed from reading all of what I read that led up to this, from Genesis and Exodus and everything. Stream's going good. Just started, kind of. Oh, and then it says, I said, King Saul and Aaron listened to Israel over God and caused the people to sin. The other pattern that I saw was God repents, God regrets. And so from all of this made me put a note at the top, the Lord repents study next, because I was curious from seeing in Genesis 6 and Exodus 32, they said God repented. And I'm like, I wonder how many times did he repent, or does he? I never did that study, but I remember seeing him repent here and there. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I should study that next. So I just put it at the top, and I did that study recently, and that was good. I think that's all of it. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the study. So I guess the last part would be, there we go. My final notes on this right here. Wrap this up. Hawk says, that's good. So you are talking about God hating Israel. Why does he hate Israel? Yeah, so I did this study called, why did God begin to hate Israel at Gilgal? Because I was reading in Hosea 9:15. It said in the NRSV that, this might not be word for word, but it may be, every evil of theirs began at Gilgal. There I began to hate them, and I didn't know why he began to hate them at Gilgal, because I'm ignorant and I didn't know. So, hello, Kate. So I had to do a study to figure out, well, what happened at Gilgal, and this is what I came to. So after doing this study, this is my final notes, right? So I said, it seems that Saul failed to wait on God and obey the commandments from God. And because of this, we don't know fully what Samuel was going to show him to do based off of, I think, 1 Samuel 10:8 and 1 Samuel 13:7 through 14. I might be a little off on those verses, but I think those are the cross references. And then I wrote down, instead of Saul, I'm sorry, instead, Saul was punished and his kingdom was taken. He was no longer going to be king. And from that point on, things would get worse for him until he died. His son died. I think he had two sons that died also. I think he died on the same day in a war against the Philistines. Yeah, I think they died on the same day. So the last part of my notes is this. So I answered the question. I said, so why did God begin to hate Israel at Gilgal? Question mark. And this is my love paragraph, right? So even though at Gilgal, at least I think or believe it was at Gilgal that Israel asked for a king from God at Gilgal. Samuel the prophet didn't want to do it or didn't like that idea. So he prayed to God about it. God said, give them a king. They have not rejected you. They have rejected me. Even though it was sad, it never said that God was angry at them or even punished them for it. So I can't say that was a part of it. So even though that happened, I can't say that was a part of why he began to hate them there, because I just can't verify it. So that's out of the picture, even though that happened. So let me continue to read it. It says, even though at Gilgal they asked for a king, it doesn't say God was angry and no harm came to them from God because of it. Though it said it was a sin that they did that they in asking for a king from God. That was said to be a sin, but God spared them. After they were given a king, which was Saul, the king disobeyed God continually. And Israel did also. And then it says Saul was replaced very quickly as king, and the people ate blood, and that's why I stopped. But it was like, yeah, it seemed to be that Saul was just one of them people that just kind of did what he wanted to do. He feared the people over God, and he was like Aaron when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, and they didn't know what became of Moses. Excuse me, Aaron was the head, and they came to Aaron and said, "We don't know what happened to Moses. Make us gods," stuff like that. And instead of Aaron telling them no, he did it. He did it, and the reason for it was crazy. It's similar to Saul's reason to me. So at least that I'll show, because that was crazy. Let me find the exact scripture, because that one was crazy. I know it's in Exodus, but I don't know for sure where. I'll just look for it on here and find it real quick. I think I said hello to you, Kate. If I didn't, hello, by the way, my bad. Exodus. I don't know for sure where it is at, but I'm gonna find it. I'm still in Exodus. Dang, that's crazy. I don't even gotta search for it. Isn't that great? So what I'm looking for, he said what? Oh, Aaron, yo. Hey, Aaron. All right, let's see. Moses besought the Lord and said, that's when he wanted to kill him. When did he talk to Aaron? Yeah, okay. And Moses besought. I think it's coming. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. 32:21. And Moses said to Aaron, what did this people I can't stand the way they worded it right here. I'm gonna look for it in this translation because I don't like that one. The way they worded it. Exodus 32. Okay, this one say, Moses said to Aaron, what did this people do to you that you would have brought so great a sin on them? And Aaron said, do not let the anger of my Lord burn hot. You know the people, that they are bent on evil. That was what he said. So, because the people are bent on evil, that's what he said. And then it goes on to say, they said to me, make us gods who shall go before us. It ultimately just comes down to fear. He was afraid of it. That's what it comes down to me. But that's the excuse he gave. And he did what they wanted him to do. And the same thing goes with King Saul. He felt like the people was going to slip away from him, so he didn't wait on Samuel like he was supposed to. And he ended up sacrificing and stuff like that, trying to get favor from God, and he ended up it just messed up. He just messed himself up. So anyway, that's it though. I don't really have anything else for that topic. I was just wanting to share the info at the end of it, but also maybe I should start to do more studies on here because I got a lot of studies that I never present on my YouTube channel or on my website. I've been thinking about putting more studies on my website, but I haven't. I haven't even logged in on that website. It's so long. I wonder if I still know the password. I think I do, but it's just been so long. But I got a lot of studies, so I think I'll definitely be going through, and I got more to do. Because there's still some questions in Hosea that I got to go back and look at and answer. Because God said a lot in Hosea. So that's it. But I do got a lot of studies. So, all right, y'all. I won't keep y'all. I was just wanting to share my answer on that. Why did God hate, Israel and Gilgal? So, Hawk says, interesting. Cake says, how do I read your channel's name? Yeah, how you done? Just how I said it. But you can say it how you feel is right for you. As long as you pronounce all letters in it, we could. Because that's how I try to say all words. But I say Yahweh. Some people say it a little different. Some people say Yahoo Yada. I don't know if they put the W on it. Some people say Yada instead of Yada, like me. Some people say Yahal Yada. Some people, say, so however, it's a few different ways you can pronounce it. As long as you try to get all the sounds of each letter in there, I think you could. But I say Yahal Yada. That's how I say it. I don't know how you say it. That's how I say it. No, that is not my real name. My real name is Michael. That's why every now and then in my live, you might hear me say, allow Mike to get educated. Because I'm referencing myself. I'm saying my own name in that phrase. I'm like, every time I have to look up a definition, sometimes in my lives, I'll say, allow Mike to get educated. Every now and then that happens. You might have heard it before. I don't know. Hawk says, have a great day and night and stream. And my God bless you. Did you mean May? Did you mean Mayhawk or did you mean my? May. Okay. Thanks all. Yeah, you have a good night also. I don't know if it's night or day. You have a good day and night, whatever it is. Appreciate it. And let's see. Hawk says, "What's up, Michael?" Cake says, "Oh, okay." Laughing. Cool. And Cake says, "How'd you get some books for free?" I got books for free. Is there any Pacific books for free that I got that I mentioned? Because the only book that comes to mind is the Hallelujah Scriptures, which I don't even have anymore. Oh, never mind. Take that back. Take that back. I got a couple. Okay, well, okay, now that I think about it. Okay. It was when I moved out of my grandma's house, my mom gave me this book right here. I never even, let me see. Hold on, wait a minute. It's two of them. I thought it was one. Well, these were at my mom's and my grandma's house. Well, it's my grandma's house, but my mom and me was living there. So I probably took that book down too fast, but these books was given to me free because my mom said you can have them. So I don't know if anything else over here. I'm sure it's another one. I just gotta. It might be in my room. Wait, did I buy that? Nah, I don't think I bought this. Nah, I don't think I did. So here's another one. I think that's another one. I think that's another one. I think it may be some more in my room because don't think it's wait. Did I buy this? I don't think I bought this either. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I did buy that. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it is a lot. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you about them in a minute. But I got about 8, 9 right here. Okay, so this is a Holy Bible Dictionary Study Helps, and I got this for free because I think it was at my grandma's house. Nobody really used it, in my opinion, so that just came with me, I guess. I don't even use it. I don't even know why it's here. I just this one, the NIV Teen Study Bible. Nobody was using it. No, no, no. It was given to me by my sister's boyfriend for free. I don't use it like that. It's just here, pretty much. Um, this one is just a King James version. I don't even know. I can't remember who gave this to me, but it was free. Probably my sister's boyfriend too, or my grandma. I don't know. Somehow it was, you know. This one is another King James version, small paperback. That one was free. I don't use it either. Probably was given to me from my grandma or my sister's boyfriend. This one, Eusebius Ecclesiastical History. I don't even use right now, but I think my buddy Doug bought this one for me. Jeremiah, he was in a video of mine when we was talking about casting out demons and stuff like that. He also got me this one, if I'm not mistaken, James, the Brother of Jesus by Robert Eisman, which I don't even read. I did look into it though a little bit. And he also got me this one, the Peshitta English New Testament, which is only the New Testament, and it's a little different, I guess. So those are a few There is one in the other room. I'll be right back. Let me go get it so we can get it all. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm glad it's only 3. Thank God. Thank God. Okay, look. These the last 3 that I still have. So this might be like 12 books that I still got because I gave away some books. So, but this big book right here, the Sefer Bible, which is over 200 now, it's not even worth it. But that was given to me from my ex-girlfriend, Shantae. I can't remember the years that this was given to me, but it was around tax time. She had got her taxes, and then she was gonna get herself one, and she got me one as well. And it came with another book, but I gave that away. Get over here, big boy. So that's how I got that one. Now this one is Reclaiming the Dead Sea Scrolls. Doug got me this one also. Which I rarely go in it. Just saying. And this one was given to me by a preacher named Keith. And he also gave me another one, a Strong's Hostage Concordance, but I gave that away. I don't even know if it got to the actual person yet. I think it took like 5 years just to get to the person that it was supposed to get to, which is sad. It's so sad. I'm gonna just tell you this funny story. I gave this Strong's Hostage Concordance to somebody who became my ex-girlfriend, right? We both had a mutual friend, and it was said to me that I should give it to um, our mutual friend, and our mutual friend would give it to her. It took years for that to happen. When me and my girlfriend actually met in person twice, I could have gave it to her. So I could have been gave it to her, but that was the instructions. That's how they wanted to do it. But yeah, that's kind of a funny story, man. Like, it took her years to send her that book. That's funny. So anyway, yeah, I got 2 free Strong's Hostage Concordances from this preacher named Keith. He got a library of books, and this is when I was first starting out, and I was just getting serious on my walk with God, and I started going to this church, and he had brung 2 of them one day. He brung like a bigger one and this one, and he said, "Which one you want?" And I'm thinking he gonna charge me for it. I'm like, "How much you want for it?" He's like, "It's free." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then later on, I got the other one from him. I kind of can't even remember how, but somehow I got the other one from him too. So that's probably all the books. Well, that's some of the books that I got for free that I can think of. But it was mostly because people gave them to me or paid for them and had them shipped to me, or that I can think of. I think it's one more. Oh yeah, Hallelujah Scriptures. I did mention it. That one was given to me because I applied for it on their website, and the only way I was able to get it for free. A lot of people see my review on it and think it's just free, but that's how I make it sound. But it's actually steps involved with it. The only reason I was able to get it for free is because I didn't have a job, and I was able to prove that. Um, I guess I was able to prove enough that I can't donate because they accept donations, any kind of donations for the book, and I was able to prove I can't donate right now, so they sent it to me for free. But that's how I was able to get that one for free, which I don't even have anymore. So I hope that answers all your questions, all of it that you said. Let me see what else was said. How do you get some books for free? Hawk says, by the way, I can't see Kate's text on here. Oh yeah, Hawk. The reason that you can't see theirs, I don't even know if you're still here, Hawk, but the reason you can't see theirs and they can't see yours is because you're on two different websites. I'm streaming from this website called StreamYard, and I'm connected to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, which at times I don't even know why I do this on Twitch, but that's why you can't see theirs and they can't see yours. The only way you will be able to see it is if I do this. If I do this. I think it's a way I can take my camera completely off. So since I'm doing it this way, and after my subscription is up, because I'm paying for this, I don't think I'm gonna do this again. So after that, it'll probably just be me streaming on YouTube, and then after that, sharing the video or not sharing it to other websites. I don't know. It depends on how it goes. I might change my mind, but I just know from the money they want me to pay to do this, it's just not worth it to me. For what they give me, like the features I have to use on this, it's not worth it to me to pay the amount of money I got to pay to do this. So it's not worth it to me to continue so far. Let me just say this too, because you got to pay to stream on multiple websites at one time. That's not for free, at least on this one. So, in my opinion, I think I should be able to do more with it than what all I'm allowed to do for all the money I got to pay. So, let me see. Christine, I'm reading from the scriptures ISR. Lately, how about you at Cake? I read scriptures using NLT. It's easy to understand. Right now, I'm reading theological books, though. Christine says, I tried to order the Hallelujah scriptures from website and Canada blocked my purchase. Maybe you should do it through I can't think of what it's called, but they promote it all the time on YouTube. Like, I think it's an IP something, a VPN, VPN. But basically, they say that when you get it, you're allowed to go and change your like where you're at. You can pretend that you're in like Canada or China and watch certain Netflix shows that's banned in USA or vice versa. So I think if you get that, you can, let's say they accept purchases from USA and or wherever, right? You can change your location to that location and try to purchase it from where you're at, and that may work. I don't know. You can try that. Um, Christine says, I never heard of Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is a website that, from what I've heard before I started using it, it sounded like it was just for gamers, people that be on there gaming. But it's a little different. It's a little different, but it's a place where you can stream and communicate with people. It's got its positives and negatives, but it's a place that I be on quite a lot. I probably won't be on it gaming as much anymore because I'm gonna take a huge break from gaming. So I'll be doing more live streams like this until my subscription runs out on Twitch. Because when my subscription is up, I'm so far I'm convinced not to pay for it again. So I'll just be streaming on YouTube after that, unless I'm persuaded to continue. But so far, I don't see it as being worth it. Facebook ain't even worried about. Even though I get a lot of feedback from Facebook, they like my studies and how I study, and I get stuff from them a lot. But like I said, I just don't feel it's worth it to continue to pay that money. So, but maybe one day I'll have enough money that it doesn't even bother me to pay for this thing right here or services like this. Because I think that's also a part of the reason. Mm, some things you pay for is just not worth it. Some things. Cake says, do you avoid shrimp like you avoided pork? I do. I haven't ate shrimp in years. One reason I think I started avoiding shrimp way before. My relationship with shrimp was like this. I ate it. I ate it here and there, but from the way it affected me afterwards was why I started to stop eating it, even though after I got serious with the Bible and heard that it's not clean. And, before that, I had my reasons to stay away from it before, which was different from pork because before, I started learning about the downside of pork. I knew about the downside of shrimp. So shrimp was something that it was like a 50-50 with me because it was a 50-50. It was a 50% chance you just, your stomach might start hurting after that, or that's how it was based on the effects. And I was like, I knew that long before I even knew about, the Bible and, all this stuff they say about it. So I kind of stayed away from shrimp before. But definitely like after I learned about the biblical spiritual stuff, even though I haven't confirmed 100% that shrimp is unclean, I just heard it. I just don't even care to eat it. I don't care to, yeah, I just don't care for it. It's one of those things that I can die without eating. It's not that good to me. It's not like chicken, it's like it doesn't it doesn't hit me like chicken. Every now and then I think about eating chicken, even though I don't eat it. But it's not like chicken. I didn't have as many good experiences with it as I've had with chicken. So it's not like, ooh, shrimp. It's not like, don't bother me like that. I don't dream about eating shrimp. I dream about eating chicken. I've had dreams about eating chicken. Seriously. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as that. I'll probably eat chicken again before I die, but shrimp, I don't care to eat it. Not that bad. Matter of fact, I did used to eat chicken, but the ways I would do it, I tried to do it where I would get all the blood out and then cook it myself. But sometimes I wouldn't cook it myself. I would just go to a restaurant, and you just never know when you go there. I would see blood still in my food when I used to go to restaurants when I'm eating chicken, and I used to always see red spots or dried up chicken. I mean, dried up blood in my meat from the chicken. And, nah, just couldn't do it. Let me see. You said, can anyone do exorcism or just priests? I would say I would lean more towards anybody if you know once you learn how, or a lot of people. I put it that way. But you got to remember at the end what Jesus said. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, we have, I want to get it word for word because I know I'm not going to say it word for word, but so let me show you. I know you probably know which one I'm referring to. By the way, it says this verse warns that not everyone who calls just give me the verse. Ain't nobody ask you for your opinion on it. Hey, see what I got to deal with. Okay, it says, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did not we prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? So this is right. This is saying or giving us a clue that many can do that or will do that. Many, because it says many will say to him on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not do that in your name? And in your name drive out demons? So that's your answer right there. It's gonna be a lot of people that's done it. That don't mean that they get in the kingdom though. Because the next part I think we're just gonna say, look right here it is, right here. Um Let me read this part too. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father in heaven. And then he goes into that part, which I read. And then it says in 23, then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. So that doesn't mean that they get in the kingdom. So, it's going to be a lot of people that do that. That don't mean, you know. So you don't have to be a priest. That is a fact. You do not have to be a priest. And sadly, the priests, the ones who are actually priests, aren't casting out. Well, it seems like they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, not all of them. So, yeah, it makes sense that not all priests will be doing it. If you think about it, your answer is in the scriptures if you just think about the question. The prophets wasn't considered priests, not all of them, if any of them. And then if you just think about who all performed miracles, some of them was never considered a priest. Elijah was never called a priest. Jesus was never called a priest. Samuel was never called a priest that I know of. These people that perform miracles, Moses was never called a priest. There was your answer right there. That's a part of it. We can do miracles too, but the scripture still applies on what I showed. I don't guarantee we get in the kingdom though. Kate says, but it's clean now. God said it to Peter. No, you misinterpreted that scripture about the creatures coming down, right? We can go over that now if you want. But before I go there, let me catch up with everybody. Christine says, I just started with a biblical diet. I learned they have recipes and suggestions on Pinterest. Christine. Okay, by the way, that's a good thing. God willing, Christine. Hopefully you do it properly according to God. And if not, learn what you should do. And then Christine says, like Daniel's fast, fasting is so hard for me. Why would I be lacking the power? Why would you be lacking the power? What do you mean? You mean to fast? What do you mean? Let me read this again. Like Daniel's fast, fasting is so hard for me. Why would I be lacking the power? You mean to fast? Because that was the context you used it in. I want to make sure before I answer it. So I'll wait for you to answer me. Cake. Oh, this the cake. Personally, I would not let anyone touch me. Some of these people are sick themselves. Yet to be able to fast. Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you from my experience, and I'll tell you recommendations on who I don't think should fast. Pregnant women, I don't think should fast because it could be harmful to the baby. But this also could go towards faith, because God is big on faith. Faith is just huge. So if you are pregnant and you fast, you know, it's all in the scriptures. Uh, how they say it? Be it. How they say it? It will be done according to your faith. So if you got faith, you can pull it off, even if you're pregnant. Go for it. Not something I recommend like that because it could be unsafe. But you know, faith is different. God takes care of people. So you do it, have faith, and don't doubt. But me personally, from my experience, I don't like to fast doing what I do for a living because I have to work around food all the time. I go and I shop for people and I shop for whatever they want and I deliver it to them. And I have to deal with food almost every day I work. I go and get food for them. I smell food. It makes me hungry. So doing what I do is not beneficial for fasting a certain way. And I'll get to that. But before I get to it, let me say, so in my opinion, from my experience, I don't like to fast when I'm working because I'm gonna be around food. It's gonna be in my car. It's gonna be in my nose. It's gonna be in my eyes. It's gonna be in my view. I'm gonna see it all day. I don't like it. So I prefer to fast when I don't have to go to work, when I don't have to deal with that, and I can kind of control what I'm seeing, what I'm handling, and what I'm smelling. That's when I would like to fast because I don't have to deal with all that. So that's my view and experience on it. It's easier for me to fast home than doing what I do because of what I have to deal with. Not everybody deal with what I got to deal with, but that's what I got to deal with. So, some people can do it at work because they got different situations going on. That's me. So maybe you lack power because of what you have to deal with, maybe at work or wherever you at a lot. Maybe you're around people that's cooking and it smell good, or I don't know what the temptation is when you try to fast. I don't know what it is. But maybe that's a part of it, and maybe you just need to get in an environment that is better for you to fast. That's not so tempting to you, and it won't cause you to possibly break your fast or end it early. That's just a part. That could be a part of it. And if you read some of the older hidden books of the Bible, it even goes into detail about how when he fasted, I don't know for sure what book it is. It could be one of the books that talk about Enoch. It could be Jasher, it could be Jubilees, it could be one of those books with Enoch's information in it, but I could probably track it down. It could be Patriarchs and Prophets, I don't know. But it goes into detail about when he was fasting, he would remove himself from certain people. He would go into an isolated place where it was just him. And he could just focus on his fast and God. He didn't have to deal with his wife, his kids. He didn't have to deal with all that because he was in a certain place where he could do better in that environment, assuming because he didn't have to deal with so much. He can control more there. But if you're in an environment where you can't control a lot of things, like people cooking and it smells good and it's tempting you, making you hungry. If I remember living with my grandma and I was trying to fast possibly, and like the smell of the food makes you hungry, so you got to kind of stay away from what could cause you to break your fast. Just me, telling you from what I think and my experiences and from what I read. It could be. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know. But we got to stay away from that temptation if we can, especially on the fast, because fasts are so important. It's a sin. No, let me say it this way. It's a special place in hell for people that break their fast. So I take my fasting very seriously. If I if I commit a fast to God, I gotta try not to break it until the time that I set for it to end. Like if I set my fast 3 days, then I need to make sure I don't break it until that time is up. Because if you read, I think it's the Apocalypse of Paul, it's a place in hell. It's torments in hell for people that break their fast to God. So I don't play with that. Don't let your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your daughter, your kid, your mama, nobody. Don't let nobody make you break your fast because it's not a good thing. It's scriptures on how husbands and wives are not supposed to cause each other to break their fast. So don't break your fast, especially if it's to God. If you just fasting, then that's cool. You can break that. But if you fasting to God, no, don't break that. It's gonna be problems. So what else did y'all say? But also you can also ask God for power. You know, Proverbs 3:6, Proverbs 3:5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean on Him for all your understanding, or lean into Him for all your understanding and acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your path. Meditate on it. Meditate on Proverbs 3:6. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. You know you trying to fast, but you don't have what it takes to do it. Who can help you? You should know the answer. And then if you ask Him to help you, have faith and don't doubt, He will help you, especially if your motives aren't wrong. Your motives for the fast, if your motives for the fast is good in His eyes, He'll definitely help you. Some people got great reasons to fast, and I think they should do it. I know me though. I know I'm not finna fast like that. I just know me. I just know me. I'm not finna fast, but I did figure out when to fast recently because I've been having a lot of time off, and that's the perfect time for me. And I've been learning to go without food more. So, just saying, in the future, I know when to fast. There's nobody living with me. I don't have to deal with nobody cooking in my home. I don't have to deal with no temptation other than the temptation that I put before me. So I don't have to deal with that. So that makes it easier for me. I don't have to worry about a dog, a pet wanting food from me. I don't have to give any food except me. So I don't have to, deal with that. So that makes it easier for me. So yeah, I don't know what all you got to deal with, but I definitely think you should start with praying to God, because God can allow anything to succeed if he wants. God will show mercy to who He wants. So yeah, you definitely should start with that. You should definitely pray. And I think if you just meditate on Proverbs 3:6, it will definitely direct you on what to do. It'll make you pray more. You definitely will. So yeah, I don't see how you can fail if you do that. And then if you find out what times and where you should fast, I think you'll set yourself up for success. Because there's certain times to do it and there's certain times not to do it for me. How my life is. I think if you find out the worst days to do it, the best days to do it, when, like times, you figure all that out, I think you'd be all right. I know not to do it when I got to go to work. That's a no-no. Because I'm going to be too hungry out there. I'm going to be too hungry. I'm going to be smelling food, looking at food. Nah. But when I'm here, I don't got to deal with that. Much better. Thank you so much. This really helps so much. You're welcome. Then let me see what else was said. Yeah, to be able to do that, I'm too old to get pregnant. No, you're not. Did you forget about Sarah in the Bible? Abraham's wife. Did you forget about that? They were both old. Remember they laughed? Somebody laughed. Yeah, Sarah laughed when the three angels was down there, or the three spirits was down there, and they was talking to Abraham about how Sarah was going to get pregnant about that time within a year. And Sarah heard them in the tent and she laughed. And then they said to Abraham, they said, why did she laugh? And then she tried to act like she didn't laugh. And then they said, no, you did laugh. They got her good. And then I think it was even one point that Abraham bust out on the floor laughing at what God told him, because Abraham was like, man, yeah, right. Abraham was like, so anyway, no, I think it's possible God got the last laugh, because when the baby was born, they was told to name the child Isaac, or Isaac was the name, right? But in Hebrew, Isaac means laughter. And it said that it can mean he laughs. And when you think about the he laughs, who's the he? Because the story went, if I got the story right, Abraham laughed at the idea. Sarah laughed at the idea that they would have a kid in their old age. And then at the end, they had a child. And then it was said, and I think Genesis somewhere, that I'm going to get it. I see you mean, hold on, I got to get this. I got to pull this up, because this was a part of my story as well. Let me just type in. Matter of fact, I know how I'm gonna find it. No, you did laugh. Verse. Give me Genesis. Will it find it like that? There you go. They know what I want. Genesis 18:15. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And the Lord appeared to him in the plains in the heat of the day. I'm gonna just skim through this real quick. Okay, here we go. Verse 6. And Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal netted, blah, blah, blah. And then they ate and all that, right? Verse 9. And they said to him, where is Sarah your wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah your wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said to Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time, appointed, I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not. Hold on, y'all. I gotta make sure y'all can see this. Okay, y'all should be able to see it. Yeah, okay, y'all can see it. Okay, cool. Now let me go back. I just want to make sure y'all can see it. I laughed not, for she was afraid, and he said, Nay, but you did laugh. I thought it was them that said it, but it was just him that said it. One person sound like. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them. Okay, that's the next part. So I got to get the part before about Abraham laughing, but let me see. When does Isaac come into the picture? Is it this chapter or after? I think it's chapter 14 for some reason. Are they still talking about Sodom and Gomorrah? Yep, still talking about Sodom. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find it. Let me see if I can find what Abraham laughed. Abraham laughs at God. Genesis 17:17. All right. Let's check it out. Okay, April. Next chapter 17 in the building. Come on, let's go. 17:17. All right. 17 verse 1. And when Abraham was 99 years old, dang, I ain't say it right because they got the 9 after this old English. But anyway, it says, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, there we go. Even though it's the equivalent to what I just said, it's all good. The Lord appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be you perfect, and I will make a blah, blah, blah. Where's the part I want? Be called. All right. I think we're getting there. And God said to Abraham in 9, thou shalt keep my covenant. 14. 15. And God said to Abraham, as for Sarah your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be, and I will bless her and give you a son also of her. Yeah, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. 17. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born to him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said to God, oh, that Ishmael might live before you. And God said, Sarah your wife shall bear you a son indeed, and you shall call his name Isaac. That's what I'm talking about right there. So it was God that said name him Isaac. Now y'all got to see how this is funny in Hebrew. I got to show you. Just hold on. I'm almost finished. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant. Blah blah blah. Okay, boom. So you got Abraham died laughing at this thought that he was going to have a child when he was old. Sarah laughed within herself that she was going to have a child because she was old. And she tried to deny it, saying, no, I did not laugh. And it was like, no, you did. Well, he was like, no, you did laugh. So then you got that right there. God said, call the child Isaac. And not a lot of people know what that means in Hebrew, but we're going to get to that. Now let's go to where the child is named, right? Laugh with me. Almost finished, y'all. We got to get this last part. Boom. So Genesis 21:6 is when Isaac is born and all that, right? So I'll start at 1, and then we'll get to Hebrew and all that. We're done with this. So it says, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age. And 3, it says, and Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah had bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham, well, I don't need to read down. 6. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. That's what Sarah said. And she said, who would have said that, to Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck, for I have borne him a son in his old age. And that's it. Now, this is what you like the Hebrew, right? We're going to get the Hebrew. So you see what I mean. All this talk about laughing, but here's the final part. Hit it. This is what my former dog was called, Yachts. I call him Yachts for short, but it's Yatsachak in Hebrew, which is Isaac in English. It says in the outline of biblical usage, it can mean he laughs, son of Abraham by Sarah his wife, and father of Jacob and Esau. Strong's definitions, it says that it can mean laughter. That's it. So when it says he laughs, when I saw that, I'm like, who is the he? Because though Abraham laughed at the thought that he would have a child in his old age, and Sarah laughed within herself, basically at the same thing, God never laughed. So maybe this is what I'm thinking. In the end, ultimately, I'm thinking maybe God had the last laugh. I think that's where I think that's the he. Just saying. Because they laughed at God. They laughed at the thought that they would have a child because they were old. But God proved them wrong. And then Sarah said in Genesis 21:6, all that hear will laugh with her about that topic. Where is it? Is it right here? Oh, that's 3. Where's verse 6? There it is. And Sarah said, God had made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. But also the child's name can mean laughter itself, or he laughs. And who is the he? So anyway, that's the whole thing with that. So just because you're old don't mean you can't have a child. You got to consider the story. And my old dog that I used to have, I called him Laughter in Hebrew because God sent that dog to make me laugh because that's what he did. All y'all who know my old dog know that dog was funny. That dog had me cracking up. It's in the footage. It's in the footage on my YouTube channel. Almost every time you see that dog, I'm laughing. Almost every time. Me and him having a good time. It was a lot of laughter. It was sometimes he made me mad, but the dog had me cracking up. That was probably the funniest dog I've ever had. And it was never meant to be my dog. Well, the dog wasn't bought for me. It just ended up that way. So yeah, that's the story on that one right there. I don't know if y'all knew all that, but that's the story right there, right? So yeah, I felt like God sent that dog to me to make me laugh because I was dealing with a breakup and I was sad, and that helped me out a lot. Me and that dog, the short time that I had that dog, the dog had me laughing a lot. And y'all see it in some of the videos on here. Now let's see. Just gonna catch up with y'all. I know I'm super late now. Ming says, hey, I'm extra late. Me too, Ming. I'm so late. Getting back to y'all. Went over that. Christine says, thank you so much. Love this, really helps so much. No problem. I don't even know if I read that before. I don't know. Ming says, what are we learning tonight? What are we on? Shoot, whatever. We can do whatever. I was just getting on to finish up because I had finalized my study on why God began to hate Israel at Gilgal. I was just wrapping that up, telling people the answer to that. I don't care. Y'all can ask whatever. It don't matter to me. That's all I got on here for. But people was asking questions and we got to talking and I'm here. I think I'll be here more lately or in the future because I've noticed that I've been doing things wrong and I haven't been keeping Matthew 6:33. What friend? Oh, the one that I prayed with, John. I called him tonight. He called me yesterday. I didn't pick up. I think I was gaming or something. I think I was live gaming, which takes up my time. But I'm not gonna be doing that much anymore. But I didn't talk to him. I did text him earlier today, but I ain't talked to him today. So I don't know. I gotta talk to him, see what's going on. But he's still dealing with his possible divorce. So you said, didn't David praise God 7 times a day and pray 3 times or more? I think. Are you saying that didn't he praise God 7 times a day and did he pray? No, those are 2 different questions. Yeah, I don't know if he praised God 7 times a day, but he probably did pray 3 times a day. But I don't know for sure on either of those. So I would have to look. But I'll just read what all y'all said before I do. Hold on, let me see. Christine says, I hope you stay with YouTube. This has been a most helpful stream. Yeah, I will stay with YouTube as long as I don't get banned because I'm trying not to. YouTube has these guidelines and I often get copyright strikes because I break the rules. Like I won't be breaking them like that in the future, God willing. But what I did the last time I did it, all I wanted to do was watch a Christian movie or a godly movie and just stream it like we're doing now, and just whoever comes in it watches it with me. Like I didn't pay for the movie. I wasn't getting paid for the streaming or anything. Like I was getting no money. I was just watching a godly movie. Kind of just how like you just go on YouTube and you click on something and you watch it for free. The movie was free on YouTube, so I just found one. I clicked it, started watching it, and I had the thought, maybe I should stream it and see who want to watch it with me. Bad idea. I do that. YouTube take it down, saying I violated. They said they give me a copyright strike. I'm like, okay, well, can't do that again. So that was my last copyright strike. There's just certain things that they don't want you to do, which to me it wasn't a bad idea. I wasn't getting no money for it. Wasn't planning on getting no money for it. YouTube was making money off of it due to the ads. I wasn't getting no money for it, and I didn't want any. But I was just trying to watch a godly movie with whoever will watch it with me. But they don't want to allow it. So oh well. But I am gonna stick with YouTube. But it's just always that breaking the rules and getting banned. Then you got to start another channel. So I always here and there I think about that, and I'm like, But they'll never stop me, I don't think, because I already have a backup channel. But I'll figure out a way to just keep doing what I'm doing. But YouTube is the main outlet that I will use on social media. I don't see anything better than YouTube so far. So YouTube would be the main, and besides, YouTube became like the main where everybody would interact with me the most. For some people it's Facebook, for some people it's something else. But YouTube was the one for me. So it was like it was easier to stick with YouTube than anything else. Because I know when I get on YouTube, I'll get more out of YouTube than anywhere else. So it was definitely YouTube. It's just that this service StreamYard, they have, if you pay for the services, they will give you the ability to stream to multiple websites at one time. And, I was testing that out. So I'm thinking, it can be good to do it. And to a degree, it is. I'm not going to lie, it is. But it's got its benefits. But it also has it's like it's got its positives and negatives. So, but I know at the end of this subscription, if I'm not convinced to stay and change my mind and continue to pay for it, the only one that I will be streaming on mainly is YouTube. That's just how I look at it. So yeah, I'll still be on here, God willing. I'll just be doing my lives and main videos on YouTube like I used to, and then after that, I'll just share it with Facebook and wherever else like I used to. It may be a little bit bad for other social media platforms because the people on Twitch are starting to get used to me streaming topics like this. So they may lose the benefit of being able to, because actually, I don't think many people do like godly videos on Twitch. You see a lot of nudity and or half naked people on there and people gaming and people playing games. And it's literally people on Twitch that just go around a beach with a camera, just looking at people half naked on the beach. Like it's literally people that just do that, and they get thousands of views or hundreds of views, and I'm like, or hundreds of people watching. But how many views you think I'm getting for this? You know what I mean? Like this godly stuff. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Not that I have strived and you know tried to get there, but I haven't strived hard enough to get there. But shoot, it's very easy to go and film, stuff like that and get a lot of people watching. It's very easy. But and that's just some of the stuff that goes on Twitch. So let me catch up with y'all though. My bad. Running my little lips. Running my little lips. Okay, now mean your question, I still gotta go answer it. Praised 7 times, prayed 3 times. I don't know. And the way the KJV is, I'm probably not gonna find it. Let me see if it's 7 times. It wasn't even born at that point. So how many times does it have? 79? Sheesh. I might have to type this in there. Oh. Not gonna find it like this. I'm gonna just type in David. See if it's anything about it. It gave me Psalm 119, 164. I don't know if y'all can see this. No, I didn't share my screen. I forgot. As usual. Sometimes I do forget. Blue Day. Is this it? What's this? Oh, no. Get rid of that. What's this? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. This one. I don't want commentaries, man. Dang. Just give me the verse. Give me the verse, boy. Talking about. It appears to be no verse. What does the verse say? Thank you. talking about the commentaries. Man, 7 times a day I praise you for your righteous laws. And that most likely was David. All right, there it is. Now you say 3 times a day. So I think I had it mixed up. Hmm. Evening, morning, and noon, I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice. So yeah, it sounds like yes to both of those. Cross reference. One afternoon. Oh, Brian, we gotta get that. Oh crap! I'll be right back home. Wait a minute. I gotta get a drink. I forgot about that one. We gotta go to Peter. Oh boy. I'm gonna tell you one part about moving out of this place. All these books over here. That is gonna be a trip. Them books were some of the heaviest things that I had to move when I moved out. Boy. All right. All right, before we do, I'm gonna check in with y'all, then we're gonna go to Acts 10. Let me go and pull up Acts 10 first. So I want it from here. Where you at, Blue? Come on, Blue. Stop playing with me. There you go. Come on, Blue. All right, yeah, we got it. We got it ready. We got it ready. I can't remember who brought up that topic. Who said it? Who said it? Was it cake? Maybe I passed. I think I passed. There it is. It was cake. Okay. I don't even know if Cake, are you still with me? Maybe go over it anyway. Okay, I read that. Well, I hope he okay. Bless him that journey. Ming says Christine is very refreshing. Did I say that right? I don't think I said he. I think I left out the he. It's getting hot in here. Dang. Hold on. Taking my shoes off. Okay. Christine, he is very refreshing on all topic and so helpful. I love to watch his lives. Sorry, y'all. What was that? Lives. He will study with you all day. This guy is definitely doing God's work. I gotta scroll down. Hold on, wait a minute. Christine says to me, did I skip something? Oh, I thought I skipped something. My bad. Admin, that's for sure. I'm a new subscriber. This is only my second time viewing. No chat last time. Oh, I didn't know that, Christine. Admin, I'm sorry I missed your name. And Ming laughs and said, "It's okay." I work for collections, and when I say my name, people still call me Megan. Dang. Oh, Christine says misspelled. And Christine says, while we are on a question and answer, can you help me understand Romans 10:3-4? There is a huge controversy going on, faith versus works, even keeping the commandments. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to write down Kate's question because I don't know if Kate is still here. Kate, let me know if you're still here or if you come back, but I'll probably answer Kate's in another video so she can just watch it in the future or whenever I catch Kate. I'm unsure of how I'm going to do it. Let me write this one down. I'm trying to find a fresh sheet of paper. Good there. Good there. There we go. There we go. $12, $19. Time's going by fast, but I don't care. Saturday in the building. So Acts 10. Okay. Now I'm going to just go and see what she said exactly about it. Hold on. Okay, so we was talking about shrimp. Do you avoid shrimp like you avoided pork? Can anyone do exorcism or just priests? But it's clean now. God said it to Peter, which will lead us into Romans probably. Okay. So okay, I got it. I got the question. So now I know in what direction to go when I do answer it. I'm hungry too. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to sneak in some food. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna have to find something. Okay, y'all should be able to see everything I see. So we'll come back to that. Romans 10:3-4, I think. Make sure that's what you said. Yeah. Okay. Romans. Okay, I'm gonna read it. It says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Excuse me. For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness and going to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves to the righteousness of God. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes. And your main verses was 3 and 4. You say it's a huge controversy on that. I gotta go back to your question now. While we are on a question and answer, can you help me understand Romans 10:3-4? There is a huge controversy going on, faith versus works, and keeping the commandments. Okay, so your question was faith versus works. Gotcha. And keeping laws. Gotcha. I'm really plotting on what I'm gonna eat. I don't know, but I'm really plotting. Y'all might see me eating in a minute. I'm telling you, y'all might. I just don't know what I'm eating. So what was that right here? Romans. Faith versus works. That's a good one. I don't know if it describes it in this chapter, but maybe it does. But I will read Romans 10. This one says in 3, for being ignorant of the righteousness comes from God, and seeking to establish their own, they have not submitted to God's righteousness. For Christ is the end of the law, so that there may be righteousness for everyone who believes. I wonder what this is talking about. I don't know if it helps. Moses writes concerning the righteousness that comes from the law. Oh yeah, I think it does. Before I read it, I gotta look for something. No, don't start. Don't start. I can't stand when this even pops up. Ungroup, close group, move group to new window, ungroup. There we go. That thing is so confusing. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. They say faith without works is dead. James 2:26. Ah. So it says, for as the body apart, the ESV, as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead. Sorry, I'm dancing, y'all. I'm dancing. Okay, so anyway, you. Man, that is funny. What was the other one? Was it 17 too? 217? They didn't give me that. I gotta type it in. Nah. I don't think I like this. This one doesn't. No. Give me the verse. Stop playing with me. Bible study tools be trying to get money, man. Look at this. Get out of here with your ads, man. That's why I don't mess with them. You get on my nerves. They take me to this. Nah, that's 226. Somebody give me 217. Let me type it in. James 2:17. Do not like Bible Gateway. The NIV says, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Okay. So, according to the last two verses, we got that faith alone. It doesn't sound like it's enough. It sounds like it needs to be accompanied by something else. But according to this, it says if it's not accompanied by action, it's dead. And I can show you something that goes along with this. I gotta think of how to word it to find it. Because it's in the Old Testament after somebody prayed. The blind man. Okay, he prayed. Who was it, Elisha or Elijah? I'm not sure. I'm gonna just say prayed that they become blind. Should be one person. Elisha. Okay, I got you. All right, so we're gonna go and read about Elisha in the building. Let me go. Where is it? Where did it say go? Look, I forgot just that fast. So sad. Where did I even type it in? Dang, did I miss something? What did I do? Where is it? Why is it talking about eggs? Second Kings 6. I'm like, where is it? I'm sorry, y'all. Second Kings 6. Knew it was in the Old Testament, and I figured it was in Kings. All right. So it says, and the sons of the prophets said to Elisha, behold, now the place where we dwell with you is too strait for us. Let us go, we ask you, or pray you, to Jordan, and take thence every man a beam, and let us make us a place there, where we may dwell. And he answered, go ye. And one said, be content, I ask you. Pray is another way of saying ask. That's why I say ask as a synonym for pray. You look at the definition. But it then says, I ask you, and go with your servants. And he answered, I will go. So he went with them, and when they came to Jordan, they cut down wood. But as one was filling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried and said, alas, master, for it was borrowed. I just got to make sure it's the right chapter. That should be it. Oh, yeah, that should be it. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. It's around verse 17. I just had to make sure because I don't want to be reading and this ain't the right place. All right, so I think I'm on 6. Or did I finish all of 5? I'm not even sure, but I'm gonna read 5 again just in case. But as one was felling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried and said, alas, master, for it was borrowed. And the man of God said, where fell it? And he showed, I'm sorry, but this old English, the way they wording it, is just not what I want to read. So I'm gonna go to this in another translation. Sorry, 2 Kings 6. That is just not what I want to be reading. Okay, so the NRSV says in verse 6, then the man of God said, where did it fall? When he showed him the place, he cut off a stick and threw it in there and made the iron float. He said, pick it up. So he reached out his hand and took it. Once the king of Aram was at war with Israel, he took counsel with his officers and he said, at such and such a place shall be my camp. But the man of God sent word to the king of Israel, take care not to pass this place, because the Arameans are going down there. The king of Israel sent word to the place of which the man of God spoke. More than once or twice he warned such a place, so that it was on the alert. The mind of the king of Aram was greatly perturbed because of this. He called his officers and said to them, now tell me who among us sides with the king of Israel. Then one of his officers said, no one, my lord. It is Elisha, the prophet in Israel, who tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedchamber. He said, go and find where he is. I will send and seize him. He was told he is in Dothan. So he sent horses and chariots there and a great army. They came by night and surrounded the city. We get into it. When an attendant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. His servant said, alas, master, what shall we do? He replied, do not be afraid, for there are more with us than there are with them. Then Elisha prayed, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. So the Lord opened the eyes of the servant, and he saw the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. When the Arameans came down against him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, this is one of the main verses, strike this people, please, with blindness. So he struck them with blindness, and Elisha had asked, as Elisha had asked. Then I'll show you how this connects with James and with your topic after this. Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, and this is not the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek." And he led them to Samaria. As soon as they entered Samaria, Elisha said, "O Lord, open the eyes of these men, so that they may see." The Lord opened their eyes, and they saw that they were inside Samaria. When the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elisha, "Father, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them?" Hold on, let me read this again. When the king of Israel saw them, he said to he said to Elisha, "Father, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them?" He answered, "No. Did you capture with your sword and your bow those whom you want to kill? Set food and water before them so that they may eat and drink, and let them go to their master." So he prepared for them a great feast. I don't even think I need to read this part, but I didn't even remember that part before when I read it. So basically, the main parts would be 15 through 19, where this army was coming for Elisha the prophet, and they got there, and the servant of Elisha said, "Should we be worried, or what should we do?" Yeah, he said, "What should we do?" And Elisha said, "Don't be afraid. There are more with us than are with them." And he prayed, and the servant's eyes was open, and he saw all the chariots of fire and the army that God had with Elisha all around. And then Elisha prayed that these people's eyes who came for him will be blinded. And they was. And the prayer is the formula of prayer is where you ask God for something, but you don't waver. You ask with faith and you don't doubt. And that's what Elisha did. He had faith and he didn't doubt. And it came to pass. God allowed it. So they were blinded. And then this is where James say, your faith can't be that alone. You need to, it needs to be accompanied by works. Faith without works is dead. So Elisha had one part so far, faith, shown by the prayer. It was allowed. Then the next part he did, he went to these same people that was coming for him. He led them. He said, "This is not the place." Where is it? I think it's 18 maybe. No, that's where he blinded them. Okay, 19. Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, and this is not the city. Follow me." So Elisha told them, he told them, "This is not the way, this is not the city, or this is not the city. Follow me." He took them to another place. He took them to Samaria. And then he prayed that their eyes be opened again. And they were in the wrong place. So that last part shows how he had works with his faith. He not only prayed with faith so God can make them blind, which happened. The second part, he combined works with it. The works, or the work was, he acted uh, on that faith. Like he didn't just have faith. He went to these same people as if God was going to blind them, which God did. And he went to these same people that was looking for him, and he led them another way. He said, "Look, this ain't the city. This is not the way. I'm going to show you, follow me." That's a part of it right there. That's faith with works. Now you talk about keeping the law. That is a little different. But you keep the law until you die. And I'm not saying you keep, like all the laws that's in the entire Bible until you die. What I'm saying is laws that we have to keep, regardless of what, like, it's just some laws that you just can't not keep. Because even when you look at the context of the Old and New Testament, you'll see that even in the New Testament, it's saying that you're supposed to keep commandments too. Like, how could you just, I don't even know if it's possible that you could just believe and get in the kingdom. that's a part. That's a good part that you believe in God and you have faith, but like you still gotta be tried by your faith. Like your faith is gonna be put to the test, basically. And in that you gotta do some works. Like basically you gotta prove to God that you deserve to be in the kingdom by doing some work in a way like that. And I think there's other examples where that was put to the test, maybe. Um, if I'm right, an example could be where God asked Abraham to sacrifice his child. God already knew that Abraham was like, you know, a servant of his. He was like, oh, let's see if he do this. Let's see if he, willing to do this for me, which he really didn't want him to do it. He just wanted to see if he would do it. And this goes with Matthew 10:37, maybe. Let me go up a little bit. It says, this is Jesus speaking. He says, do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have come to bring, I have not come, sorry, I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And one's enemies or foes will be members of one's own household. Excuse me. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. That part goes with, when Abraham was told to sacrifice his child, even though God really didn't want him to. He just wanted to see if he would do it. If I tell you to do something, are you going to do what I say? That's what it comes down to. Like, and throughout the scriptures too, it shows how God is for obedience over sacrificing. I just was talking about earlier how Samuel was saying to Saul, the king, the first king, the king, he was saying that obedience is better than sacrifice and stuff like that. Like it's a pattern going on, and God just wants to see if you do what He say. He might not let you go through with it entirely, but He just wants to see if you're gonna do what He say. And when you don't do what He say, it's gonna be a problem. It might be death or it might be punishment, but it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. And that's where the laws come in too. Like doing what He say is the law. Like He might give you a law. He might give us a new law today that's not in the Bible. It might be a cross reference to it or something, but it could just be new. It could just be new. But he might just want to see if we're gonna do what He say. Because nobody's guaranteed to get in the kingdom. Nobody. You gotta endure to the end. It talks about that in the scriptures. Those who, I was just reading it, I think in Revelation 21, those who overcome, I can't remember how I worded it, but it says something like those who overcome. Revelation 21. I don't know exactly the verse. Oh, I didn't mean to put it there. Revelation 21. Now I gotta hit sentence, I think, or chapter, verse. When I do this, I mess it up. Is it book? Oh, goodness. Maybe it's up here. Paragraph. There it is. And I don't even know what verse it is. I just know it's in here. That's so sad. I don't even know what verse it is. It's my memory. I was in here yesterday. I am Alpha Omega. Was it 22? Okay, but nothing unclean will enter. Trying to see where it talks about it. Maybe I should just type that in. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Probably too many words. Too many words. Little letter can't handle all that. Funny. They know what I want. It's in Matthew 2. Okay. What is it talking about? But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Where's the cross reference? Cross references. You will be hated by everyone because of my name, but the one who perseveres to the end will be saved. My bad. Didn't see Revelation though. Oh, it worded it different. That's why it used the word triumph. That's how it said it. The one who triumphs. If I spell it right. One who triumphs. I don't know, will be saved or make it in the kingdom. I can't remember how they worded it. In Revelation verse. See if they find it, because I spelled verse wrong too. The one who is victorious will, like them, be dressed in white. I will never blot out the name of that person from the book of life, but I will acknowledge that name before my Father and his angels. Exactly one. It was in Revelation 21 or 22. But it used the word triumph instead of endure. Let's see. Well, anyway, let me check in with y'all because I don't went on for a minute. Revelation 12:11. Okay. You said this is amazing to me. You just read scripture highlighted in my old KJV Bible. Oh, cool. I have a big bunch of trouble because I live alone and none of my family or friends believe the living word. Well, that's how it's supposed to be for a while. But because a lot of people, when they start, following God and walking with God, they become isolated from a lot of people. It happened to me. It happened to a lot of people I know, and we was all isolated for a while. But every now and then you'll find people that stick with you on your walk. But what you can do, I pray about, finding other people. And I look for them. I would go on social media and look for people that were like-minded like me. Now, every now and then I would find a few, and they would stick with me over the years. And I prayed, I don't know how recent, but it was kind of recent, about more males to speak to about biblical spiritual stuff. So I didn't have to always talk to more women than guys, if it was seen, because that would be beneficial for me. And then that started to come to pass. Now I'm talking to more guys than women, which is beneficial for me. But you say Revelation 12:11. Let's see what that say. So I would say definitely pray for Revelation 12:11. But they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they did not cling to life even in the face of death. Yeah, that's one of them. Like all verses that kind of sound like that are kind of basically what I was trying to find. But I just know it was one in Revelation that we was reading yesterday. Me and whoever I was with. Yes, I think it was Kate, and I was in Revelation, and we was I don't know what the topic was. I don't know why I was there, but somehow I got led to Revelation. I don't know what I was. I don't know what it was, but I was in there, and now I can't. Because it was about. It was about just skimming it, trying to see. It was about the liars. It was about the people that won't be in the kingdom. And I remember having to go over the scriptures about how God said, even in the kingdom to come, there won't be liars, and you know. So I was going over that. Let's see if I can find it, because when I find that, I'm definitely there. It is right there. Revelation 28. I mean 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving. Let me see what it says over here. Oh, look at that. Revelation 21:7. He that overcomes, so it was overcome, not triumph. Dang, I thought it was triumph. Overcome. He that overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And then we went to chapter 22, I think, because 22 got something about liars in it too. I don't know where, but I'm fine. And I think that was the verse I was looking for. So I think I found it. Yeah, but it's like people still got to overcome. And in that context of people still having to overcome, we can discuss more about faith and works or versus works and keeping the commandments. Because you can see that if you still got to overcome and triumph, then something's still to be done. And it don't just seem like faith is it. Faith is easy. It's easier than like doing works. I'll say that it's easier. Oh, look at this. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they might have right to the tree of life. Look at that. And may enter through the gates into the city. There it is. That's one. I didn't expect that to be there. And then the next one says, for without dogs, for without our dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever love and make a lie. Interesting. I didn't even know that was there. Yeah, I don't even know where the verse at that I'm looking for. Oh no, I just read it. Okay, yeah, so cool. So we even got a revelation to say, keep the commandments. It says, blessed are they that do his commandments. Wow, that's good. It says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments. It's classic. Okay. Well, let's get the other one that I was talking about. Matthew, is it 15:14 or 15:4 or 14:15? I don't know. Nope, it ain't that one. So try 14:15. That one's funny. Let's see if this one's it. That ain't it either. Okay, I'm gonna have to search. Cause we say, it said, if you love me, keep my. They know what I want. They know what I want. John 14:15. I was just there. It didn't seem like that was it. What? Oh, John. My bad. John, not Matthew. I'm tripping. John 14, 15. I had the 14, 15, right? For the wrong book. Here we go. So we'll start at in John 14:9. You can see is Jesus talking. It says, Jesus said to him, have I been so long time with you, and yet have you not known me? This old English get on my nerves. But anyway, he that have seen me have seen the Father, and how sayest you then, show us the Father? Believe, I'm done. I can't. We're going to the NRSV. I tell you, the way they be wording is just the kid. I just can't. We're going to the modern. They killing me with this old English. All right. What verse was I on? Was it 11? No, it was 10. There we go. Okay, 10. Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I do not speak on my own, but the Father who dwells in me does does his works. Believe me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. But if you do not, then believe me because of the works themselves. Very truly, I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact, will do greater works than these, because I am going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask for anything, I will do it. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And that was the main verse I was coming for. So, it's still commandments. Which commandments? You can study it, but because all commandments isn't for everybody to keep. Like, it's certain commandments that's only for men and certain commandments that's only for women. But, then it also says there's two great commandments that if you do those, you do everything, which is basically love your father with all your heart, soul, and mind. If I'm not mistaken, and the second is love your neighbor as yourself. You do that, you're good. But right here, it's just a lot of places where it shows that you still have to keep commandments. And in reading and studying over time, you'll see what they are. But yeah, you still got to keep commandments. And that makes sense. It don't make sense that we should just be able to do what we want to do, because that's what King Saul did. I don't know if you was here when I was talking about King Saul and my answer to the main topic of the video, but King Saul was basically doing what he wanted to do. That didn't go well for him. He disobeyed God continually until he died. Him and his sons. I think multiple of his sons died, or at least Jonathan, his son. They died on the same day. Him and his son. So, yeah, you got to listen to God. What God say, whatever that is. So, yeah, it's definitely, this is just a part of the study. I mean, it's a longer study to do, but this is just a part of it. So faith versus works and keeping the commandments. You can see from the little bit I showed, you still got to keep commandments, and you got to combine faith with works. They're supposed to be combined. And there's other scriptures outside of the Bible and inside the Bible, I believe, or possibly where it will show that faith combined with work. Yeah, and I did show an example where faith and works were combined. And that's how it's supposed to be. When you pray about something, based on that analogy I showed with Elisha, you're supposed to go after what you pray for. Like if you pray for a husband, you're supposed to, after that, at some point, go after it. Like put yourself in a position where he finds you or you find him. So a lot of times you don't just pray for something that comes to you, depending on what it is. Like example, I prayed for a job where I can work from at home. I pray that God allow it to be successful, but I haven't really started looking for anything to do at home. except I got an idea on what I want to do, but I don't know if this is going to be what God allows to succeed. But it is something I can do from home. And I'm about to pray about that to be successful soon, God willing, and go after that. So Christine says, Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Just found it. Then you says, thanks for taking the time to share all these verses and reinforcing the truth about how the faith without works is dead. You welcome. No problem. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing more of this. And I was supposed to be doing more of this. This is also why I've been suffering lately with pain. Like some people think when you suffer, it's a bad thing, but my suffering was this is how I was looking at it. What was causing me pain was for me to remove out of my life, or remove a huge part of it out of my life. With it gone, I won't be using much time doing that. And it's possible that I will be able to heal and focus on other things because it was taking up so much of my time. Meanwhile, people calling me to read and study or talk to me about biblical spiritual things or whatever, and I'm occupied because I'm doing something else. And I can't do the works of God at that time. And like that was one thing that was like becoming a problem. So now that that's out of the way, I can do more of what God wants me to do, or more in that area that I should do. So yeah, it's part of why I say it's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing more of it. And even when I was working, this is another thing. I'm glad I'm not working like this no more. I remember when I was working 10 to 12 hours a day at this job, the same job I'm doing now, but well, it was another job I was doing too. Instacart, similar to Shipt, but like when I say Shipt, I mean SHIPT, because I didn't want y'all to think I said the cursing word or the profanity word. No, that's the company name. It's another one like Instacart, and I used to do 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, and a lot of times I would go over, and do long hours. So it was like I was working all day, and then I would have very little time to talk to anybody about biblical, spiritual things, pray with anybody, read or study with anybody, because I was always out working. I was always out slaving, trying to make a decent amount of money. I was okay financially, but I was suffering to a degree spiritually, and I knew I wasn't doing all I can do in that area. And I knew as long as that was going on, I couldn't do it. Now, that went on for a while, and then this this last year, like God turned that around because this is my year of trouble right here. It was trouble before a good reason. Like, woe to me, because I was doing what I was doing, working all the time, wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing spiritually enough, couldn't do it anyway, working like that. And there's certain scriptures I came across that would justify what I was doing was wrong. It would show me what I was doing wrong, because I remember reading about it. I don't know where at, but it was certain scriptures that said, how can a man learn the ways of God always occupied in work? What does that mean? Simple. If you always working, if you're a workaholic, how can you learn the ways of God? It's simple. Because if you spend too much time working, you have very little time or a limited amount of time to learn the ways of God, and that's not beneficial. And then it's another book, in the Seeing Gospel of Peace, book 1. It's somewhere in there, it talks about, well, somewhere in the first 3 books, but I think it's book 1. It talks about that you're supposed to work 8 hours a day, read and study, or do the spiritual part with God 8 hours a day, and sleep 8 hours a day. I'm not doing nowhere near that. But I have definitely learned to decrease my work, to take less money, and do the godly thing more because I'm gonna get to the part where I became a broken vessel recently. So I try to remember that and tell you about that in just a minute. Broken vessel, just to remember, right? So God showed me and took me on a path where I was just suffering. Well, going through suffering and going through stuff this year, right? So my work was cut down. It became unpredictable when I was going to go to work and what I can do and when I can do it. So the phrase God willing came more and more from me about pretty much everything because I didn't know when I can go to work, how long I could work, when I wasn't going, and when I was going to be injured or not injured and stuff like that. Like, because I had a lot of injuries. This was the year of injuries for me. Like, I've had the most injuries that I've had in a long time. My knee was injured. I was able to continue to work with that. My arm felt like it was about to break at one point. I was kind of handicapped. Couldn't really lift much with it. Couldn't drive with it like that. Um, I had to heal through that and work out to heal that. And I got better. I was able to continue to work. And then my neck felt like it was about to break at one point, and I had to work out and heal that. I had to take a few days off because I couldn't really function like I used to. So I had to take maybe 3, 4 days off, maybe 5. I can't remember. Then um, it was just a lot that took me out of work, and I everything I tried to do to make money just didn't work. I would plan to work overtime, to work 7 days a week. Didn't work. I couldn't do it. Um, all my plans were shot down. And I'm out of work so much. I haven't been to work in 5 days this week. I haven't been to work since Sunday, last Sunday. That wasn't supposed to happen. Um, I remember like when I was at work, I had to come home. It was before Sunday. I think it was maybe Saturday. I can't remember, but I had a headache while I was working, and I had to come home. I had to stop working and come home. Like I've been suffering due to the stuff I've been doing, and it comes back down to Matthew 6:33, which I was talking about earlier. Matthew 6:33 says in the KJV, "But seek you first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." I stopped doing that. I would think about it and be like, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll seek it later. I'll seek it sometime later. I play the game first, so I'll do this first, and then I'll get to it later. I'll do it later. And in doing that, programming myself that way, it became a bad habit because I would spend long hours on the game and come to read later. At least I'll try, but come to read later or do these things later. And then by the time I do, I get a headache because I spent too many hours on the game doing this. And then now I'm trying to do this, and now I'm hurt. I'm suffering. And it would have been better if I would have just went and did that first or did it sometime like earlier. And so I just been doing things wrong. So I've been putting things, it's sad to say, I've been putting things first that I shouldn't have put first. So after all this crap happened to me, I realized I can't, I no longer wanted to work mostly like that long for money because my spiritual life suffered. And when I got back on track, I wanted to keep it that way. I wanted to work 8 hours a day and take less money and just, you know, so it's like I had to flip it around. And this is where from me doing it wrong, I became a broken vessel, damaged goods, you know. And I realized that yesterday because I was doing a live yesterday and my head started hurting and I had to end it because of that, because I'm doing things wrong. So now I'm happy to know that I was doing things wrong and now I'm going to start doing things right. So I'm going to be on here a lot more. I don't know what times because I'm just random, but it'll probably be earlier. But I'm still a random guy. If I feel like studying late at night, I'll show up. But I'll be on here a lot more. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, I did read that. So it's been 2 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, well, shoot. I'm going to get out of here. And Cake, I got your question. I'm going to come back and answer that soon. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Well, thanks for joining me, y'all. Thanks to who all will watch and did watch. I'm going to go eat. All right, Christine, Ming, Hulk, whoever's in here. I don't know who's in here. But those are just a few that were speaking. Miguel. All right, y'all. Peace be to the saints. I'm out of here.